I got nothing.
It's fine. This is fine. Let's see if this thing will start. It's been sitting a while, and I didn't disconnect the batteries. I don't have good batteries in this to begin with. Little glow plug action, even though it's 75 out. Should be fine. Yeah. Howdy doody. Good morning. Today's adventure, quite serendipitous, if you will. When we were picking up the Peterbilt last week, I was talking about the reason why I got that Peterbilt was I was looking for a skid steer at auction. Well, next auction I went on, lo and behold, a skid steer popped up, somewhere in between a 2007 and a 2012 New Holland mid-size machine, L175 I think it's called. It's got a 4-cylinder diesel. It was going for cheap enough, so I snagged it. The only caveat is I know nothing about it. The pictures were probably the worst I've ever seen. No description to it. All I know is that it's a running, operating skid steer. I snagged her after taxes and fees all said and done, about $8,000. And I think it's a pretty good deal. For reference, this Bobcat, which I know nothing about, but she's an old gal, $4,000 for that one. So an extra $4,000, you can have a modern diesel, actual usable skid steer. But I should be knocking on wood. Anyway, this one is close enough down in southeastern Ohio, so we should have a relatively pretty drive ahead of us. So I'm gonna quit yapping, we'll hit the road, and I'll see you when we get there. $12,000 for that thing? Pass. There. That'll work. It's alright. It's alright. That ain't going nowhere. Alright, on to the next. These are going to be good. I'm excited about these. I'm not exactly sure how loading the skid steer is going to be. I might be able to tuck my bucket under these some. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. Hey there, puppy dog. Hi. Hi there. You're just a baby. You know it's raining. You don't have to sit in the rain. Yeah. Alrighty. Stay dry. First impressions, 3,000 hours. That was the thing I was worried about. That's good. Hard tires on it, look to be in decent shape. Last service, February of 23, so a while ago, but not too many hours ago, but we'll get a fresh service on it. Tire's a little chewed up, rim's a little beat up. All in all though, I'd say not too shabby for what I paid. That's a good looking machine. Let's fire it up. That's good.
No, knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood.
Let's see. Glow plugs or anything. Yeah, 3,000 hours. Half a tank of fuel. Do I need to buckle my seatbelt? It's already buckled. Of course it is. Might need to unbuckle and buckle again. Okay, little editor's commentary here because I obviously did a horrible job filming and explaining what was going on here. Reason being, I wasn't expecting to have to troubleshoot anything at this point. I left the camera rolling on the back of my tailgate, thinking I was just going to fire up the machine, drive it on the trailer, and be on my merry way. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so my GoPro kept rolling and killed my battery. As you saw, I wasn't able to get anything from the key, so I'm walking around the skid steer, checking all the normal stuff, battery terminals, making sure everything's plugged in. I have no tools at this point other than my Leatherman, so I'm in a tough spot. So talking to the guys that were working there to see if they had any issues with it before, they said no issues, fired right up and operated for them, no problem. So I knew it was going to be something stupid, so I started tearing things apart. I finally realized that the seatbelt sensor was not clicking off when I buckled in, so I started tearing that apart. Direct wired the two terminals together, still nothing. Eventually I found that the seat sensor was my problem. The wiring loom got caught in between the seat and the seat track and pinched some wires up. That was my issue. So I finally figured that out. I apologize for the lack of filming on that and explanation, but like I said, I wasn't expecting it, and I was on a time crunch. I needed to get home. So that's that though. So I'll let you watch me struggle on time lapse here, and we'll eventually get it on the trailer and get moving. Tough to see, but this is my seatbelt wire and it's crammed in there, kinked. I bet you that's my issue. I bet you I got chafed wires. It's crude, but it's gonna work. Seat's on. That's on. Hit my switch. Bam. All right, buddy. How about meow? Meow. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank God.
You're welcome.
All right, I gotta get this thing on the trailer and get out of here. My dog is gonna be crossing her legs. Well, we made it. Obviously, I would have liked to have had all this happen in one day. However, plans changed. I got there, tried firing the machine up, and I got nothing from the key. And obviously, I already explained it at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you grab things at auction. That's the nature of the beast. There's always going to be unknowns that you don't know of when you're walking into something, and that's why you get a good deal on these things. It's because you don't know what you're getting, you're rolling the dice. I don't think I lost on this deal. You know, obviously that was just a little quirk, as I talk about, the little quirks with auction items. It's just one of those things that you got to figure out and take it as it comes. Obviously, we did okay. Got it up and running, got it on the trailer, and got it home. Worst case scenario, I would have had to have their lull pick it up, but I would have been a little depressed on the way home with a non-running skid steer paying, you know, the price of a running skid steer. So that would have been a bummer. Obviously, I would have figured it out, but here we are, nonetheless. So the plan for this thing, as of today, right now I have 3 sets of forks on the back of the truck. Those I picked up at a separate auction, but they were really close together. They are Kivell brand, which is made in the US. They're not, you know, the most robust forks I've ever seen in my life. However, I've seen a bunch of these come up in auction, so I knew what the market bared on these, and I got a good deal on them. They're solid forks. I wouldn't be able to jump on Marketplace and get a new set of forks for what I paid for these. And I got 3 of them. So they're nice. They're 4,200 pound forks, walk through. So they have that little gap in the middle, quick attach plate, and they are adjustable forks as well. So it's exactly what I was looking for. So that ticks the box. I got 3 of them because it was a choice lot and there were 3 available. So I snagged up 3. I will keep 1 for sure. I'm going to sell 1, see how I do on them, and decide if I'm going to sell the other one. When you buy a skid steer, you almost never get attachments with it. You're lucky if you get a bucket. It's rare that you get a set of forks with a skid steer. So I might just keep 1 set just to have, but we'll see. The reason why I'm here at the yard today is because I don't have room for all this at home. So I'm going to unload 2 sets and keep them with the rest of my equipment here. The skid steer, the bucket, and 1 set of forks is going to come home with me then.
You're coming home with me.
And we've got future plans with this thing. I have a project coming up with it, obviously the other skid steer that I'm going to use the forks and the new skid steer for, as well as some miscellaneous stuff around the house. But first we're going to have to get a service done on it. Speaking of service, I haven't really gotten a good look around on this thing yet. However, there are a few little notes that I want to run by you just as it sits for now, and then we can obviously give it a good thorough shakedown when we have it back at the ranch. So all in all, I think this thing's pretty solid. With 3,000 hours on it, that's a pretty low hours machine as far as used equipment goes. A lot of life left in it. I am noting this. I'm leaking something down there. I don't know if it's oil or hydraulic yet. I'll have to taste it, see what it tastes like, where it's coming from, figure that one out. Obviously, the seat wiring, we're gonna have to not figure out, but we're gonna have to fix. That'll be a quick fix now that I know what it is. I'll just solder those wires back together, get a nice little piece of insulation on it, call that one good. The main little quirk, we're still gonna call it, that I will definitely have to address is this. On my quick attach mounting plate, this side has a bushing down there where everything is held together. And on that side, there's a little crack in the plate. I'm not really worried about it. I don't think it really affects the integrity of this whole unit. This side though, she do be flopping in the wind. There's no bushing in there. I got a makeshift bolt running through here. And whatever that through pin is, it's bent right there. So I'm gonna have to look up parts, see what's going on there, and fix that for sure before I do anything with this. And then the last little note that I have is the seat. It's got a tear in it, which they all do, but I did look it up, and a replacement bottom cushion for that seat is about $100, so I will be replacing that as well. Lights are a little busted up. You got some dings and dents here and there. Usually this back door is pretty well whammied. Whammy! And this one isn't bad. It's got some dings and dents, but not too shabby. My general overview of this thing is it's in used shape. It's nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't see on something that, you know, is probably on some sort of construction crew. Usually when it comes to excavation, which is the business I'm in, skid steers are the most used and most abused because they're the most handy to have around. So it's just the name of the game. It's how she goes. So with that said, I say we fire this thing up, get it unloaded off the trailer so I can get the forks unloaded and then get the skid steer back loaded on the trailer, and we're gonna take it home. Okay, I will say, for complete transparency, I already warmed this thing up. I came back today, fired her up, just so I could, for filming purposes, just pull it right off the trailer. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Oh yeah. Lift my bucket just a little. Lift my bucket a lot. And away we go. I'm still connected over there. Okay, couple notes. One, my bucket is not detached, so I gotta figure that out. But two, I got sticky hydraulics. This pedal seems to want to keep going after I let it go. So I'll have to look at that too. Okay, it's definitely my left side here. My pin isn't coming up, so let's see if we can give it a whack. Sure can. I'm gonna say that's all just general maintenance that needs to be lubed, which is why it was sticking. Lube which is why I was sticking. Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
You sure about that?
Didn't put myself in the best spot here. I really got to be careful of this whole sticky hydraulic situation. See if I can't hook onto my next piece. Oops. I'm really gonna mess something up with that. Easy, faster but slower. Sure. Why not just do it this way? It'll work. I might drop it. Hey now. It's fine. This is fine. This isn't how you haul your torques. It's all gonna be okay, I promise. Alright, now we gotta work some magic that this, since it's all messed up. Come on. Pull. Sure. Sure. I gotta put a toggle switch in here for the seat belt. Not that I don't love safety, but it's just a danged old farm tractor. Not too shabby. I think my load is pretty even. I'm gonna chain this thing down, jump on the road, and get this thing home. sweet home.
They're made from a secret sweaty family recipe.
Let's get this thing off of here. Why it's handy to have one of these around. Now I have to fire this thing up, which this hasn't been started in weeks, so let's see how this goes. Let's see here. We're neutral, choke, couple pumps, be good to me. Oh yeah. She wants to go. Oh. Like I said, this hasn't ran in a couple weeks, and I just noticed my rear tire is actually low, so I'm probably gonna fill that up before I take this. The reason why I'm taking this truck is, one, I don't have room for it, but two, it's probably enough choke. Two, I'm working on getting a title for this thing, and in order to do that in Ohio, I have to take this to the state patrol.
All right, man, where were we?
And they have to do an inspection on it, make sure it's not stolen, all that fun stuff. So it's a process, but for the next step, this isn't road legal, obviously, so I got to get it on the trailer so I can get my inspection. You like that?
Do you like that, Mr. Dilham?
Actually, no, I do not like that, okay?
New toy. That is a sight for sore eyes, is what they say. Hello, honey. I am so excited to have this thing sitting in my yard right now. I'm sure all of you that are following along with the channel know how much that case 1835 is an eyesore to me. It's a daily reminder, literally every time. I don't have a lot of property here. My back door is right there. So every time I look out into my yard, I see that case staring me in the face saying, hey, get me running. Now that I have this, the plan is I'm going to use the forks, lift the cab off of that thing, lift the bucket up in the air, get it locked into place. That way I can get the engine hoisted out. I could borrow a skid steer for that, but my thought process is this. This isn't going to be a quick little weekend ordeal. I don't want to be indebted to somebody for borrowing a skid steer, mainly my boss, and I don't want to be pressed to get it back Sunday evening before all the crews start Monday morning. So I figured I would pick one up at auction, something that I know is a sure win as far as a resale value, and this is what I landed on. We picked this thing up for $8,000. After taxes and fees, it was $8,000. I am pleasantly surprised about the shape that it's in mechanically. Obviously, it has its quirks as we went along, but so far, all of them are minimal things that are relatively inexpensive to fix. So I'll get this thing fixed up. Hopefully I can use it to fix up the case, and then basically what I think I'm going to do is sell both of them. Sorry, I don't know yet. It depends on how the case runs after it's running. But I know once I have it running, the value for resale is going to go up. And then I can actually pick something up that I want. What I pretty much have my sights set on and what I've been looking in auction for, and the reason why I ended up with that 1835 is because I'm looking for an 1845C. They're all mechanical, they're simple, they're pilot controls, and it has a 4BT Cummins in it, which is super easy to work on, plentiful as far as replacements go, plentiful as far as parts go. So all in all, it's just a user-friendly skid steer for, you know, farm use. But they are ever so popular. People are very proud of them. They hold their value very well, which are, you know, those are all great things for someone like me to own. The trouble is finding one for a screaming deal. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking for. They come up. I did pass on one at auction, actually the day before I got this one, because it was all the way up in Michigan, literally right next door to where I picked up the semi-tractor.
What are we?
And I wasn't in the mood to long haul another trip for a skid steer. I made the trip up there once. I wasn't about to turn around and go right back up there. So anyway, a lot to come on this thing. We got service coming. We got an in-depth shakedown coming. I'm gonna clean it up, get a nice pressure wash, see if we could find that leak that's going on. We're going to clean this thing up, make it real nice. So with that, that just about wraps this one up. A lot to come on this thing. I appreciate all you that are following along. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps me out more than you know where I'm going. Like the video, share it, all that fun stuff. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on the TikTokies. So that'll bring this one to a close. But do not forget, don't be afraid to grab that wrench, get after it yourself. See you next time.